art teacher at EHMS, and today we are going to be doing process of hand building clay. Everything a good hand builder needs is your trusty rolling pin for slab rolling, a sponge, which I would highly recommend at redamping and re-wetting the clay as it cracks. Any kind of clay tools would be good. We have like little cheap plastic knives from Wendy's. Wendy's gave me a bunch of these. We also have wooden knives and tools. I recommend the wooden ones over the plastic just because the plastic will break over time a lot easier than the wooden ones. We also have oil. You don't want to always use oil, only if you are going around an armature and making a cylinder or something like that. Also have some water handy. Traditionally we use something called slip, which is vinegar and hardened clay, but today we're making small pieces, so we're just going to stick to water. We're going to make sure we have some newspaper handy in case we need to crumble it up and form it in a pinch pot. We also use clay mats so we don't work on the tables. And also I have a 1/4 of an inch wooden slats that we are going to use for our slab rolling today. Katie here is going to be making, she's going to be using the process of slab rolling. So the first thing she's going to do is she's going to get a ball of clay. Okay, it is not really in the shape that we want it because we would like it in a rectangular shape. So what she's going to do is she's going to slap it against the table and beat it with her fist and center it. Keep beating it with your fist. Try to push those edges out. That's going to get a good start to our roll. Okay, now recenter it in a good position. Okay, now you're going to start to go in a vertical position. The reason why we use wooden slats is because we never want the thickness of the clay to get thinner than the wooden slat. So we're looking at about as thin as a York peppermint patty. These are about a 1/4 of an inch thick. I would not go much thinner than that. Katie's gonna roll it in a vertical motion. She's standing up because when you sit down, you have less pressure on it. Now, as you're doing this, it is pushing out towards the sides. If this is not tall enough for you, you can always go horizontally a little bit. But you never want to do this too much or you'll get lower than your slats. Now go vertical again, Katie. Okay, once you think you have a pretty good length, you can go ahead and see whatever length you want it, you can go ahead and measure it. But some of us like to now go to the second phase, which is making a cylindrical shape to turn a 2-dimensional object into a 3-dimensional object. So Katie already measured it and made sure it would go around her bottle. Now she's going to make sure she oils the bottle. If you don't oil the bottle, it stays on it and you do not want that. Alright, now we're ready to form our cylinder. So Katie's going to place the bottle, or the clay, however she chooses to do it, around the cylinder. And making sure a little bit overlaps. Are we good on overlapping? Yes. Okay, then she's going to peel back a little section and go ahead and score this side with a clay tool. Scoring is a fancy word for scratching. You're just going to rough up the surface. And it's good to use the tool with the little teeth too, because it's already got your job done for you. Okay, so we've scored, now we have to do the other S, and that is slip. Now, so she's either going to use the sponge or her finger, and she's going to wet the surface of the score. Now, when you do this, you want to do a process called getting rid of the seam. Okay, you're going to stretch it over it. I would put our hand in here so it doesn't bend on you. And now she's going to use a clay tool to smooth that seam down so we can't see it anymore. If this doesn't happen, it will break apart. You have to get rid of the seam. Now, if it's not pretty, you can smooth it later. Our object now is just getting it together. Now she's going to stand it up when she's done with this part. And I would get the sponge and re-wet the surface. Do you see all the hairline cracks? You want to get rid of those now, or those little bitty cracks will turn into big cracks later. All right, go ahead and get rid of the surface cracks. Shape, and make sure we use the oil correctly. So we're going to see if we removed it. If you oiled it, it will remove. At any time that the shape starts to misform, you can always scoot it back in. Now, do you see how the top here is uneven? Katie's going to take a clay tool and cut it evenly on that part that is misshapen so she can have a perfect top. And then you pull out the bottom, and voila, we have a cylinder.